Do a fair use, fair use. I'm not making any money. Just for educational purpose and criticism. Fair use, fair use. I'm not making any money. Yeah, so this is politics inquisitor news. It says the FBI warns Iran may use sleeper cells to attack California. Trump confirms. Right? So with all that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakha Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners, who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father, and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To your sisters, your Chwatim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Ram Yahawada with the lesson. Right? Yeah, all sorts of things are happening, man. As you can see, man. Hey, we're in that time of Jacob's trouble, World War III, the micro C hip, right? A day like none other, right? Yeah, so yeah, right here it says President Donald Trump mentioned on Wednesday, right, that he had been made aware of federal FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, whatever, FBI memo that warned that Iran might use terrorist sleeper cells to launch a surprise attack on California, right? So these are basically the times that you're living in, which they're barely starting to mention these sleeper cells now, because amazingly they went after the Northern Kingdom, sending the ICE agent after the Northern Kingdom. But you're putting this warning. But if you gave ICE the biggest budget in history, why ain't you mentioning how ICE is going to be looking for these people? You just gave a warning, right? And that's it. But you use ICE to run down our brothers, right? Whether via Northern Kingdom or Southern Kingdom, right? And with no mercy, right? Meanwhile, you're telling the citizens of Iran who's protesting that if they kill the protester or they do something to the protesters, that you're gonna help them. But what about your ICE agents and your what is it, National Guard agents that's everywhere, that's unaliving people who's protesting, or some people wasn't even protesting, they were just trying to head home. See, you're a hypocrite, man. See.
Thank you. Hey, I think it's really good odds. He says, what are the odds there's a false flag done in the U.S. that Iran gets blamed for? The Democrats get blamed for not funding security programs domestically. Well, that is super suspect. DHS is underfunded right now, right? Like, they're like understaffed. It's like shields are down. It's like, why? Especially when we're at war. How can it even be possible? How can it even be possible? It's like a setup. It truly is. All it takes is one event. And I think that's exactly where this is going. Right along the lines of everything we've talked about and we've warned about. Stephen, thank you. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right at the gate. Like, the big warning here is get everything out of the banks, because they're coming for it. And they're not just coming for it with like, we have an FBI bulletin warning that the West Coast should watch out for surprise drone attacks from Iran. Now, This is where things get crazy, man, because it's going to start happening. I told you they're bringing the war to us. I've told you this, man. I hate to always keep saying it, but it's like I've seen it all coming from a mile, 10,000 miles away. And now it's here. They brought the war here, to our home, to our doorstep. And it really hasn't even really begun to pop off. Like, it's going to get way crazy. I hope you know this. This isn't theater. This isn't for show, man. This is real. Maybe, and usually this is how it'll go, a terror event is going to have to hit pretty close to home. And when it happens, then people will start being like, dude, we got to do something. Like, dude, I've been telling you we got to do something. But that's not going to be to me. They're going to be saying this to their friends and family, like, we got to do something. Because it's true. Like, if they're smart. Like, when you start hearing reports of car bombs blowing up and people getting mowed down, taken out, it was like right down the road from you. Like, somebody, if you're smart, you better start looking out the window. You better have somebody watching for, like, who's entering your neighborhood or not. You're going to have to do these things. Like, this is the crazy part. Everyone's been so lackadaisical and, like, docile, doing nothing. You know, I say it all the time. It's why nothing's popping off here. But they're going to force people to. When these people are coming up in your backyards or whatever it is, in your neighborhoods, it's on. Maybe it's going to take those horrific news events. People dude was out mowing his lawn. I mean, I just reported on this. Dude was out in his yard and just got executed down in Florida. Guy just comes up out of nowhere, just executes him. These things start happening more and more, and that was by an illegal migrant, by someone that shouldn't have been here. What happens in these crazies just pop up out of nowhere, full scale, and it's just, I don't know. I think you'd be crazy to think we're not going to start happening more and more, and that was by an illegal migrant, by someone that shouldn't have been here. What happens in these crazies just pop up out of nowhere, full scale, and it's just, I don't know. I think you'd be crazy to think we're not going to see an attack. We killed a spiritual leader on this planet, man. There's dudes out there, like, putting down the last will and testament, about to ride it out. The drones coming down on the West Coast. Okay, so if it happens, wow, dude. This takes me back to the Obama movie and the drones. Oh, my God. It does. It's it. What have they been doing? What have they been practicing this past week? This past month or so? Uncommon? What have they been doing? They've been taking a laser down there in El Paso, New Mexico, Texas and Mexico, New Mexico, and they're shooting things down out of the sky. Drones, right? They just started doing this, kind of like, oh, they're getting ready for something they knew was coming. Now, a NOTAM is up to, like, the middle of summer, right? Which is unprecedented. Okay? They got a weapon, a laser weapon, and it looks like our west coast of the United States. It may be the very first spot that we see turn into, like, an aerial, like a war front. Aerial. Like, where they're shooting on our west coast. Like, you can sit there, people are in their homes, they're watching our military, shooting at these things in the sky coming in. You have to. You either shoot them down or they're going to come in and hit the target. So they have to try to shoot them down. The problem is, I'm going to tell you right now, our defensive systems, our Patriot missile systems, and everything, they suck. And they're not going to stop anything hypersonic. I'll show you that here in just a minute. We're in a critical spot where our only known defensive means for shooting down ballistic missiles, any kind of missile coming in, cannot keep up with what the top missiles are out there. And there's no answer for it. The closest thing they've got is a laser. And they have to hit it directly with the laser. Dead on. Thing with a laser, especially a long-range laser, is anything beyond it, if you miss, it's going to get hammered. Satellites in space, planes up in the sky, it's all going to get sliced, right? So it's tricky. That's why they got a freaking NOTAM in a large area anytime that they're going to try to use these.
Yeah. So they're speaking of these sleeper cells that's about to come, to a neighborhood near you, right? And ultimately, really, this is really Jacob's trouble. But like the Apostle Tahar said, that Jacob's trouble is also everyone's trouble. So, when they're, doing whatever, if they're doing a suicide unaliving of themselves and a bunch of other people, you know, hey, it's everybody's trouble. If they fly these drones and use these drones to drop down upon neighborhoods and of such, what does that mean? That's everybody's trouble, right? Not to mention the food shortages, the complete government decay that there is. Because who do you turn to? Who do you turn to for help? Right? You know the government's corrupt, and if they are going to help you, it's going to be for what do you call it? It ain't gonna be for your good. Let's just say it that way. So we ain't gotta use a bunch of $5 words. Let's just say it straight up. It ain't gonna be for your good, because obviously they're not looking out for your greater good, right? You know. So this is Isaiah chapter 65, verse 11. But ye are they that forsake Yahweh, that forgot my holy mountain. Yeah. So you forsake Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha HaKodash, and forgot his holy mountain. So who is he talking to? He's not talking to everyone. He's talking to his children, to his people, right? You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, right? Ultimately. But then, you know, you get this Israelites around the world. And it's going to be a great judgment around the world, right? So much is the Lord said he's going to try the whole world, right? Through the microseed, right? That prepared a table for that troop, and that furnished the drink offering unto that number, right? Because basically a lot of people they're gonna get the microseed. You know what I'm saying? Because what's a drink offering for, right? It's to say that you give over into their God, you know, for substance, right? Water, right? A drink offering, water, right? Is life, right? You need water to water the crops, your livestock, and yourself. Or to take a bath. Water does a lot of things when you're dealing with a drink offering, right? And then some drink offerings may be wine, but even with wine, you initially have to use some type of water at some particular point, right? Because you need the water to grow the grapes. So it doesn't even matter, right? At that point, it goes into you basically worship. You're gonna give in to this beast system. A lot of people are gonna give in to this, man. You're gonna fall into the Novos Ordo Seclorium. You're gonna get the microseed. A lot of you, and you made it possible, right? Because a lot of you being a troop, right? Being these sleeper cells, and then even you got the American military and all these different things, and just people in general during the the lack of bread, right? The lack of food shortages. People are going to be fighting and contending for what's ever left, right? And you forgot the Lord, so you're not gonna be protected at the end of the day. That's what this is. So this is ultimately Jacob's trouble, which is going to be everybody's trouble. It says, therefore will I number you to the sword. See, and that's what's coming, man. Judgment. You know, whether if it's through sleeper cells, whether it's through your own U.S. military with the National Guard or the police, however you get your judgment, or another fellow Egyptian, right? The Lord says he's going to have the Egyptians fight against the Egyptian, your fellow so-called American, you know, through food shortages, right? Or race baiting, right? You know, these are the time that you are living in biblical times, right? And it says, and ye shall bow down to the slaughterer, right? See, a lot of people are gonna, because there's gonna be a lot of slaughter, and a lot of people are just gonna bow down and take the microseed to this beast system, because when I called ye did not answer, right? So the Lord's not going to give you, because when you go into, was it Revelation? He said, I shall, matter of fact, I'll get it real quick. Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, right? Because this is suffering, right? But it's stability too, right? The wisdom and knowledge is the stability of thy times. All things that were written for our learning. The things that were written before time were written for our learning. This is the stability of our times. This is going to be, even though it's suffering, under the words of the Lord, it's stability. It's, it's established, right? It says, I also will keep thee, right? See, that's the point. The Lord's going to keep you, right? If you were to listen, if you were to hearken, the Lord would keep you. I will keep thee from the hour of temptation. And that's what we're all about to go into. When you got these troops coming in as sleeper cells, you got the troops, the American troops, you got the people going all out from the lack of bread, right? You're going to need Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakadash, to keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So everybody's finna go through it. So Jacob's trouble is everybody's trouble. Verse 11, Revelation chapter 3, verse 11, behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention, I come quickly, right? The Lord said what? The first woe, the second woe is past, and the third woe comes quickly, right? So we're at the time of the third woe. We're in the third woe. So it came quickly. So now you're in the time of the third woe, right? Hey, it's here. And the Lord is about to come quick. Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls JC, is coming quickly. The Lord, the Father, is going to send his Son to judge the quick and the dead. Behold, I come quickly, right? Which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention, hold, right? Means hold on, do not let go, right? Right? Those that what? Kept my patience, right? Same thing, hold on, hold fast, basically don't let go. Stay firm and attached and established to this truth, right? With which thou has, that no man take thy crown. So hold on to what you understand, right? That no man take thy crown. And the best way to do that is to go back to the basics, right? That's why the Lord said about your first love. What was the first love that you knew about the truth? The basics. The basics of the scriptures, right? Deuteronomy 28:68. The Lord, John 3:16. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, right? Basics, right? Was it Colossians 3 and 9 and 10? That you put off the old man with his deeds and you put on a new one, and put according to the image of him that created you. Who created you? We know that it was Yahweh Shai that created you. Yahweh gave the authority. Yahweh Shai gave created you, right? And our thing is to be like him, be like Yahweh Shai. Yeah. So this is Isaiah chapter 65, verse 12. Right, to come back here, right? Because you basically you prepared the table for that troop, and that troop is ultimately Trump. Trump is about to send these troops in, really on both sides, right? It's because what he's doing in Iran is going to send troops, but he got the American troops in your cities, right, to come against you. He got the ICE coming against you, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. So on all sides. Was it Nero Trump is against you, right? He hates you, so-called. He know who you are. He know that you're the Israelites. See, though you don't want to understand and see that what happened from Rosewood to Black Wall Street. These Edomites, this government, has been your enemy. They the ones who allegedly unalive Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, right? They did a new analysis and showed that the bullets that went into Malcolm X came from an upward trajectory, and they couldn't have came down from the people who came in and so-called shot at him from the ground level, which would have been facing up. The bullets came downward, so we know that was the government that did that. right? You know, same thing. Malcolm X. I mean, Martin Luther King. Man, we know that all these things have been a thing, and so somehow you have amnesia, and you want to call us black, which that's a government psyop to call you black, to call you Negro, to call you an Afro, to call you colored, right? So we understand that. So that's what we're just trying to break it down to you in that fashion. But you potato a table for that troop that Nero Trump has for you, right? It says, therefore, I'm gonna skip down to 12 because therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall bow down to the slaughterer. See, yeah, you're gonna bow down to Nero Trump, man. A lot of you, because there's gonna be so many people being unalived on a full scale, whether it's through the sleeper cells, or through the U.S. military, or through ICE, or through just the people who has a lack of bread. People are just going to bow down to the slaughterer, saying, hey, put the micro C-hip in my right hand, left hand, butt cheek. It ain't going to matter. They're going to, put it in my foot. Bro, give it to me and get me out of here. Put me in your little 15-minute cities, your open surveillance prison. And so I can only walk 15 minutes that way, 15 minutes that way. But you give me some type of normality, right? The new normal, right? Because it ain't normal. But it's going to be a new normal, and I guess it beats being chased by wild beasts of all sorts, even the kind that's never been seen before, right? You're like, hey, just get me up out of here. So a lot of you are going to bow down to the slaughterer, which is Esau, Edom. This system, you're going to worship him. That's why I said you're giving him a drink offering, right? Right? Which technically started back in the time of the natives, right? They gave them the drink. Hey, come on, let's open up. Let's give them something to eat and drink. And then they backstabbed you and showed you who they were, right? And showed you who they were. They're Satan. Satan meaning adversary, right? They're your adversary, your natural adversary, Jake, you so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Because when I called, ye did not answer. And when I spake, right, through the prophets, and that's what we're doing now, Lord willing, I'm of that number, Lord willing, and ye did not hear, right? You ain't hearing that we're telling you that Negro, black, Afro, those are bywords, right? They call you black. That's a byword. So where did you really come from? To give you Africa is a blanket statement, right? To call you American is a slap in the face, right? Right? That somebody else's name was American. They're the Edomite, and then when you think of, okay, well, that's just the name of the place that we live in. When have they ever really treated you like a true American? Never. Even when you're rich, they know it. You know. What is Jay-Z? Rich nigga, poor nigga. Hey, at the end of the day, you a nigga to them. You that's it. Right? So hey, bow down to Nero Trump at the end of the day, right? Because this is things that he's been doing. He's been that way. He hates the Israelites, right? Going all the way back to the time when he was Nero, back in 70 AD. And this is going to be like a replay of 70 AD all over again. Because when I called, ye did not answer, and when I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did not choose and did choose that wherein I did choose that wherein I delighted not. Yeah, see, the Lord didn't delight in plantation Christianity, Islam, gangbanging, drug dealing, all these different methods, voter die, rock the vote. I'm gonna be a GI. I'm gonna join the military, police force, this, that, and another, man. Right? The Lord ain't about that. He's about following the truth, man. Right? You know, there's 7. Like when you go into Revelation, there's 7 churches, and only one church had it right. The church of Philadelphia, right? So you know that's in the earth today. Spirit. Somebody has to have the 100% truth. Can't be everybody has this and that, but then no one's coming together and dissolving what needs to be cut out and what needs to get to the 100% truth. Right? Like when those dudes was having those unity camps, that's what should have been done. Okay, we got a unity camp. Everybody has a thing, but we need to come down to so everybody is on one accord, one doctrine, so we have the 100% truth. And they were supposed to go into a room or whatever and don't come out until they have the 100% truth. So therefore they could give it to the people, but there's someone already have the 100% truth, right? Whether you accept it or not. GMS has 100% truth.
Emperor Nero initiated the Roman military campaign that resulted in the destruction of Jerusalem and the Second Temple in 70 AD, though he died before the final siege took place. As the Jewish revolt began in 66 AD, Nero dispatched his trusted general, Vespasian, to Judea to crush the rebellion. Nero's role in its immediate aftermath included 1. Initiating the war, 66-67 AD. Following successful Jewish resistance against regional Roman officials, Nero appointed Vespasian to lead an army of roughly 60,000 soldiers to suppress the rebellion. 2. Methodical campaign. Under Nero's orders, Vespasian and his son, Titus, began a systematic campaign in 67 AD, securing Galilee and the coastal areas before moving toward Jerusalem. 3. Death of Nero, 68 AD. Nero committed suicide in June 68 AD, causing a power vacuum in Rome known as the Year of the Four Emperors. This briefly halted the campaign. And 4. Final destruction, 70 AD. Following the chaos, Vespasian became emperor and left his son, Titus, in command of the Judean forces. Titus completed the mission by breaking through Jerusalem's walls, burning the city, and destroying the Second Temple in 70 AD. While the destruction took place 2 years after Nero's death, the strategy, the selection of commanders, Vespasian and Titus, and the initial military response to the uprising were all directed by Nero.
And that man's back. Nero Trump, and don't get all mixed up with the Jewish, right? It's actually Jews, right? Which was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? But you understand when you go into the what is it from Babylon to Timbuktu, tell you that a million Jews fled into Africa under Vespasian and Titus, right? So see, that's all connecting real life history with the reality of the scriptures, man, right? So that's why we're trying to get you into the one mind, the understanding of this truth, that Nero Trump, right? Which there's reincarnation, and he's back, right? With the vengeance, right? Yeah. So this is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 3, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling, right? One Lord, one faith, one baptism, right? So you got one Yahweh Shai, right? That's our Lord, which is Yahweh Shai. You got one faith, right? Because all of us have to believe in Yahweh Shai, which ultimately has what? One God, one power, and Father, right? So he's the Father of Yahweh Shai, but he's also the Father of us as well. So that's how we have one Father, one God, one Father, because he's Yahweh Shai has a God. His God is the Father, but the Father is also his Father, right? The God, his God is also his Father, as well as us, right? One power, one Father of us all, right? The Israelites. See, it's not speaking of everybody, right? Who is above all, right? Above all gods, above all everything. He is the existing one. He above the Most High, right? And through all, right? Through all of us, right? Through all of us, the Lord is seen. He's represented throughout the earth, through us all, and in you all. See, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is in us all, right? But unto every one of us is giving grace according to the measure of the gift of Hamashiach. Okay, come on now. And this is what we were trying to speak to you Israelites, man. Instead of siding with the devil, calling us black Hebrew Israelites right along with the devil, who called you Negro, Afro, colored, and then black, and then Mexican, and then Native American and Haitian and Cuban and all these other names, man. Jamaican. You know, these are all bywords, man. When we're telling you that you're the sons of the power, man. You're Benjamin, you're Levi, you're Issachar, you're Reuben, you're Manasseh, right? You know, trying to give you your true identity, which is power, which is under that one spirit, man, that one body, right? Yeah. So this is Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. It says, and Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakah HaKodash said unto him, which is Ezekiel, right, the prophet, right, which is, you know, this was what's happening, man. The Lord opened the minds of the prophets. Go through the midst of the city, right, through the midst of Jerusalem, and you are a people before a place, right? You Israelites, you are the city of Jerusalem before the place, right? You were the Israelites. You became Israel in Egypt, right? You became, you know, basically, you know, Jerusalem in Egypt, way before you got to that land, right? So it says, and set a mark, right? And this is a different kind of mark. This is not charagma, right? Not even close, right? This is the Hebrew mark, which is the wa, right? Which is an exemption, right? Upon the forehead of the men that sigh and cry for all the abomination that be done in the midst thereof. Well, if you're taking the mark, the charagma, you're not crying for all the abominations. You're accepting the abominations. See, especially after the Epstein list and all these other things. So you know what these devils are part of. You know, baby jerky. You know. So you know what they do, and you still accept that mark, right? You're not sighing and crying for all the abominations. So this is the wa, right? Exemption. You know, it says into the others, right? The ones who didn't sigh and cry, who do not have the wa, who's not exempt. To the others, he said, in my hearing, go ye after him through the city, right? Where people before a place. So wherever you at, right? Matter of fact, let's prove that. Let's prove that. Matter of fact, yeah. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 24. It says, every place whereon the soles of your feet, speaking to the Israelites, and only the Israelites, shall tread, shall be yours, right? So anywhere we go on this planet, it's ours, because the earth or the world was created for our sake, right? So wherever we tread upon the world, it's ours, right? Soles of your feet tread upon shall be yours, from the wilderness and Lebanon. So it could be whatever remote land or whatever it is out there, whether if it's desert or forest or pine trees, it's ours, right? Or Lebanon, which got a lot of nice trees in Lebanon. From the rivers of Euphrates, right? Hey, this is the most important part right here. Even unto the uttermost sea. And where we at here in America, in the uttermost sea, where the Lord gave this land to our brothers, you know, to the northern kingdom. To the uttermost sea shall your coast be. So wherever we go, the whole earth is ours. So we're a people before a place. And this is what that is, man. At the end of the day. So wherever you're at, you know what I'm saying, it's technically yours. But what happened? You open up a table to that troop. And hey, so Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. Now you're going to be set up for your punishment, your judgment, because the prophets went out to teach you and you didn't want to hearken. And now wherever you at, wherever Israel's at, wherever the souls of Israel's at, that's Jerusalem. And now you're going to get it. Now you're going to get judged, right? And Jacob's trouble is going to be everybody's trouble. Yeah, so come back here. Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 5 says, and to the others, right? Just from the start, say in my hearing, go ye after him through the city. So now you know What that mean? That city, no matter where the soles of your feet at, you are Jerusalem, right? You're a people before a place. You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, and you Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel. And then you still got the Israelites who look like Israel. They got the phenotype. They look like Israel. They so-called Afro-Afghanis, Afro-Kuwaitis, things like that. You got the features, but you don't represent yourself as an Israelite. But it doesn't matter. You are going to be judged, man. Judgment is coming out throughout the whole entire habited earth, right? Everybody's going to be tried by the hour of temptation, whether you're going to get the micro C hip or not, right? So it's going to be a lot of judgment and smite, right? A lot of people being put to into the spiritual world, right? A lot of people being unalived. Let not your eyes spare, neither have pity, man. So the angels are gonna ordain either individuals or animals or whatever is your lot for your death or your salvation, right? Because sometimes something's gonna come after you, and something has to come after you in order for it to be salvation, right? Because the Lord said to save us from the hands of him that hate us, from the hands of our enemy, right? Of him. So in order for salvation, something has to come after you. Something has to attack you in order to be saved. That's true salvation, right? You have to be in perils, right? That's what even Apostle Paul said. Everybody loves Paul, but no one takes heed to the set perils that he had. He said, I went through many perils, shipwrecked 3 times, man. He got bitten by a poisonous snake, man. He got tarred and feathered, and then brought back to life. He been through many perils, man. He done died, came back to life, beaten, stranded, imprisoned. So it's a lot of perils. It's a lot of suffering for truth's sake, right? But a lot of people miss that. They just looking at it. Oh, it says Gentile. Oh, well, there's Gentile Israelites, right? Gentile foreigners, right? You know, even heathen, right? Where it says heathen, the Lord calls Jake or Israelites heathen. So are you talking about the Israelites that the Lord had called a heathen, or he's talking about the natural heathen that they can all? No, he's talking about the Israelites who the Lord has called heathen. The Israelites who the Lord had called strangers can come in, right? It even states that when people read that thing with Abraham, and it breaks down. There's 2 different strangers in that when you read that. And so there's a stranger that cannot eat, right? There's a stranger that can't eat of this meal, and then you got a stranger that can. So wait a minute. So is the Lord double talking? There's a stranger that can't eat and can't be a part of this, and then there's a stranger that can. So then how do you determine what stranger can and what stranger can't? Well, that stranger would have to be of the fold, right? So that's just plain and simple, you know. But the Lord is going to have these angels have neither have ye pity, right? Giving out your judgments through many different ways, right? You know, wild beasts, a mob of people, starvation. Hey. Says, slay ye utterly old and young, both maids, right? Maids are young women from the ages of 12 on up, right? Young women from the ages 12 on up, right? Those are young women and little girls, little children and women, right? It's an actual woman from the ages of 20, 21 on up, right? Which goes into, if you're not married, you're old maid. No one's trying to marry an old woman, right? If you're 23, 24 years old and you're not married, you're considered an old maid. You know? So these other things, these other camps saying that you got to wait till a woman's 20 is a farce. That doesn't make sense. She's damn near considered an old maid if you're waiting to marry her at 20. That means every woman will have to get married right at 20, or else she's considered an old maid. She's discarded. So that doesn't make sense. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, right? Which is the wa, right? Exemption. And begin at my sanctuary, right? Which that's what the Lord said, that the candle, the Lord is going to start at his house. That's going to start at Jerusalem, right? Which makes sense, you know. Even in the world, it has there's a old phrase says that you should clean up your own house first before you get to judging other people. Well, that's what the Lord's going to do. He's going to clean up his own house, and then he's going to judge the rest of the world, right? So it's going to start and begin at my sanctuary, then begin at the ancient. Yeah, begun at the ancient, which were before the house, right? Those who said it, they know what this truth is all about. So we're all going to go through something, and hey, it's going to determine whether you get saved from your set peril, right? Which is deliverance, salvation, or you're going to be destroyed by that set peril, right? And he shall say unto them, defile the house, fill the courts with the slain, right? And that's this place right here. America, Babylon the Great is a defiled house. So what are you going to have to do with a defiled house? You're gonna have to you got to burn it. You got to cleanse it, right? And he say unto them, defile the house and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth. And they went forth and slew in the city, right? Right. And it says, and it came to pass while they were slaying them, I was left, that I fell upon my face and cried and said, Ah, Lord, most high power, wilt thou destroy all the residue of Israel? Because that's how many Israelites are going to be destroyed, man. It's going to seem like the Lord's he said, I was left. It's like, dang, I'm the only one left. That's how it's going to seem, because that's that regiment of the 144,000, right? Because you got to think there's 8 billion people, and maybe about 4 to 5 billion or something like that are Israelites. Like the majority of the people are Israelites, and a lot of people are going to be slain. So that's that regiment. He felt like I was only alone, like I was left. And then he's like, dang, Lord, wilt thou destroy all the residue of Israel in thy pouring out of thy fury upon Jerusalem? See, upon that city. So wherever you're at in the world, there's going to be a grave judgment that goes out upon the earth, wherever you Israelites are at. Right. So here we are in 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case. In that day, you're going to be in a pitiful case. That's why the Lord says, let thy eyes show no pity, because you're going to be in a pitiful case, right? Which now have abused my way, right? A lot of people said that they were about this Hebrew Israelism. I gotta say that, right? That's funny, because the Edomites came up with that, man. Hebrew Israelism, these these proper terms, way they can classify you, to call you black, you know what I mean, and try to put you in a box. And a lot of you people, you fall for it, right? You feel like you got a disdainment for who we are, but the Lord got a disdainment for you. You're going to be in a pitiful case, because the opinion of who opinion matters. You didn't think that to make sure that that his opinion was the one that you were pleasing, instead of these Edomites. So you abuse and have abused my ways, and they that have cast them and have cast them away despitefully, the prophets, the understanding. You're a hearer of the word, not a doer of the word, or you're a hearer of the word, but a forgetful hearer. Hey, you cannot do that. You cannot be a forgetful hearer of the word. You got to be a hearer of the word. You got to be a doer of the word, and you cannot forget. That's why the Lord said, meditate in these day and night, and then get up and then meditate again. I mean, we all fall short, but hey, Lord willing, starting with myself first. Hey, I get back to it, man, because this is, hey, it's about to be hell on wheels, right? Literally, you have cast them and despitefully cast them away, despitefully shall dwell what? In torment. And that's what's coming, man. You got sleeper cells, you got the troops, you got the regular hungry individuals, man, who's gonna want what you got. For such as in their life have received benefits, man. The sun wakes up, you have 24 hours in a day, every day. The same 24 hours, those brothers who got the tawah, they got the exemption, and you had ample time to try to get the exemption, which then again you didn't, because sometimes the Lord don't want everybody, but you did. You had your chance. I mean, you can't say you didn't. You can't say you didn't hear the truth. Now, whether you denied it or not, or you took your hand to the plow and then let go. Hey, man, that's a whole nother thing, because what the Lord said, and receive what? Benefits, and had not known me, right? So in that case, you don't really know who the Lord is after you took his benefits, after you grabbed onto the plow and then you let go. You didn't know that the Lord says that those that hold their sword back from blood, that he's going to destroy you, right? And it's not that we're out here to do any kind of hurt to anybody. It's talking about the scriptures, right? These things, they cut, right? You're not supposed to hold it back from your enemy just because he's please don't bring out the truth no more. And then he has enough nerves to just keep throwing out stuff from the Epstein file, and then you realize no one's going to prison but so-called black people. And then you jakes, you eat it up, the Inquirer, you're these soap opera people, man. But you ain't looking at that. This is war. That's spiritual war, man. They get into your mind. When you see your enemy has done what you've done and worse, but none of them are going to jail, you're like, man, how can you win? Right? But we gave you the answer. It says, and they that have loathed my law, right? And that's what happened. You just loathe the law. Like, oh, I don't know, it's grievous. But the Lord said the law is not grievous, which it isn't. Once you deal with it, and you put it in, especially once you put it in perspective, right? Like I always give this as an example for one thing that's super simple. Like a man's supposed to have a beard, right? Don't you already grow every follicle in your face? If you're able to. Every follicle in your face to grow a beard is already there. So the Lord's not asking you to do something that's impossible, because you already have a beard. Your beard already grows in. It actually takes more for you to go in there, get some shaving cream, and then a razor, than it is for you to actually grow your own hair that grows out of your face naturally. Simple. All right? And then, of course, the rest of the stuff you got to do to the best of your ability, because they didn't put pork in everything. They got plastics and microplastics everywhere. Everything else. That's why it's all left up to faith. Fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in faith, right? So it says, you loathe the law while they had yet liberty, right? You had the freedom. You could have praised the Lord. You could have did the things that you were supposed to do. You could have learned. You could have went and looked and seen what churches and what doctrines was this and that, and figure out what's the truth, right? You had time, you had liberty while they yet had liberty, and when as yet place. When as yet placed. And when as yet placed of repentance was open. And when as yet place of repentance was open, right? See, they had a chance to repent unto them. Understood not. Ooh, there it is. Hey, see? So it's not guaranteed you're going to even understand. That's crazy. understood not, but despised it. Whew, whew. And that right there, judgment. Wow. Hey, see, it says some must know it after death by pain. See, and that's what's coming, man. Judgment, man. Yeah. So this is Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12. It says, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles, right? Lord finna, hey, he finna shine a bright light over your darkness, right? Over all that madness you think you're hiding, and he's gonna see it all. And punish the men, right? When we read in Ezekiel 9, it said that the men, it was basically the men and the women. So no one's gonna escape. The men that are settled on their leads. See, yeah, you're just settled in a time that you can have leads, right? Which is like downtime, and in your downtime you're not studying. Leads goes into I believe it's reading, your reading time. If you do read, you're reading some type of a gossip magazine or some type of what's that shit called? Those novels, those sex novel type things, you know, the drama novels, you know. You're not actually meditating on the will and the way of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. That's why you couldn't understand. Because if you studied, somewhere along the line there would have been some type of understanding, and then you were supposed to go through and search the different what do you call it, camps and doctrines. So really, I mean, you don't got to necessarily look at it like a camp. It's just you're just trying to follow the correct doctrine and find the one with the correct doctrine, which Yahweh did say he will be in the camp of the saints. So even Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is in the camp, right? So I mean, that whole camp thing, and you shouldn't be a part of a camp, and even the Lord is in the camp. He said I should be in the camp of the saints. He's in the, so the Lord's in the camp. So you gonna tell the Lord that he ain't right because he's in the camp? Hey man, this is the sick twist. This is why you don't have no understanding, and that in itself is gonna get you judged, right? And the Lord's gonna search Jerusalem with the candle, and punish the men that are settled on their lees, that say in their heart, La'ab, their mind, Yahweh will not do good, neither do evil. See, man, everything's good. Ain't gonna be a bad thing because I'm just sitting back doing nothing. I'm just gonna sit here and watch a little TV. I'm bump some little music. Go out there and wash my car. I'll go out and do a little weightlifting. You know, that's a good thing for you. Oh, everybody's into this herbal thing. I'm gonna do my herbs, and I'm gonna do this and this and that. And I'm not gonna I ain't gonna read the Bible. I'm not gonna listen to these black Hebrew Israelites, right? I ain't gonna listen to them. They're just some black people. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta listen to black people, right? Right, which we're not black, we're many shades of brown. But hey, just making light fun of it. But hey, it is what it is. So therefore, their goods shall become booty. See, so now the things that you acquired in life. They sign. I forgot how things called, but if a military is coming through your town or wherever they're at, they can take whatever you have for them, whatever property you have. The military can take it, because basically they're the U.S. government, or they're the military, and they could take your goods for booty, for their benefit, right? For cash, or for their benefit. Which cash ain't going to be anything at that point, because everything's going to be going into the digital system, or it'd be crashed down for a little while until you can go get the micro chip. I don't know if they'll be able to. There'll be any pawn shops open, so I don't know how they would, but it'll be for their benefit, right? Take your house. Hey, look, my military is tired. We've been marching around for a while. We're gonna come and commandeer your house, and then we're gonna have a couple people on watch, and we're gonna split shifts. And these people watch overnight through the day. These other people sleep, They're just gonna take your house and eat your food, grape your women, your children, even your animals. Maybe these are Edomites, man. These are these other people, man. Stick their head in your cow's butt. Like you got some degenerate people, man. You got these Hamites over here still. They part of these sleeper cells, man. You gonna have some crazy things happening, man. It's and their houses a desolation. Yeah, you won't be able to dwell in it, right? And after they depending on how they feel or whatever the Lord put in their mind, they might leave you alive. They might not unalive you. They just dwell in your house, tell you you don't got no choice but to let them stay in your house and eat up all your food and this and that, and then they'll leave you there, walk away, and then you don't have no food. All that stuff you've been prepping and you've been doing this for, it's all gone because this little platoon came by and ate it all up. So now you're gonna sit in your house and starve away, or they just light fire to your house and walk away and watch everything go up in smoke. However the Lord decide to do it, and then maybe put a one through your melon. Who knows? I mean, it's gonna be all sorts of things. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them. Right? Yes. Hey, because that's what it said. They should throw down and they should build up. Hey, you should see all the building things that's going on right now. All these different construction areas, and people are building up things. And I just got my brand new house. I just built it. Now the military is coming down with a tank coming down your thing, or hey, they talking about these drones. Coming to the West Coast. You just finally built your dream house, and here come a Iran drone. Pew, boom. Hey, bro, smoked, right? Hey, what are the young people are saying today? Cooked. Hey, which is befitting because what's going to happen? 200 million missiles are going to come hit this place, and you're going to be what? Cooked, right? That's a befitting term right now because a lot of people are going to be cooked at this last hour, right? And it says should not be inhabited, not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and shall not drink the wine thereof. Hey, man, you're gonna enjoy it. You ain't gonna enjoy it, man, at all. Shoot, should I get another script? I think I was gonna get another script, but if not, I'm gonna have to close out. Let me see. Yeah, so this is Luke chapter 21, verse 20 says, when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, see, and that's what's about to happen. And like I said, Jerusalem is your people before a place, right? And it's going to be plenty of armies, plenty of different things coming against you and going to compass you about, right, to destroy you, right? Judgment is judgment, right? Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh, right? So that's how you're gonna do. Hey, man, judgment is nigh, right? Which you already have that via Donald J. Trump, right? Through the Marines and the National Guard, and then now they're telling you that they're sleeper cells. So these military men are already here, which you've seen that coming in through the border when the time of Biden was in office, right? So they're already here. So they already compassed you about completely, right? It says, then let them which are in Jerusalem flee into the mountains. So this is 70 AD, when they were told to flee into the mountains, where a million, what do you say? It said black, but we're not black. It says a million black Jewish fled into Africa, but we're not black and we're not Jewish, right? Meaning a million Jews, right? Dark-skinned, so-called black Jews fled into Africa, right? It says flee. Jerusalem fled into the mountains, and let them which are in the midst thereof depart out, and let not them that are in the countries let them that are in the countries enter therein too, right? So if you're in other countries, you don't want to come back to America, But this thing is going to happen all around the world. But America is going to be. That's why a lot of people are moving out already. Right? A lot of jakes are moving out. So this is basically talking about 70 AD. But there's nothing new under the sun. Nero is, well, it's Nero Trump now. Nero 47 now. Right? So back in the time of Nero, he set it all up for 70 AD. And Nero is back through the reincarnation. Nero Trump. And he's setting it all up for 2016, 2027, 2028, 2029. Whenever it's going to happen. But it's coming soon. Right? For these be the days of vengeance, right? See, that's what the Lord's finna do. He's finna take vengeance upon you, Jakes, upon you, Israelites. The Lord's coming to judge you. He's finna search you with a candlestick, right? Because you didn't sigh, you didn't cry for the abominations, right? You didn't change. You didn't listen to the word of the Lord or to the prophets. You did your own thing, and the thing that the Lord delighted not in, right? Did your own thing. So the days of vengeance that all things which are written may be fulfilled. So now we're coming to the time that all things that are written are going to be fulfilled. So you're talking what? Jacob's trouble, famine, race wars, pestilence, World War III, mark of the beast, which is the micro C hip. All things are going to be fulfilled. Right? That didn't happen in the time of Yahweh Shai, why people saying that the laws are done away with. All things wasn't fulfilled. Right? It says, but woe, which means judgment, unto them that are with child. See? So when it talks about what? The woman, the child, it's going to be in Ezekiel 9. Yeah. Ezekiel 4, was it 4 and 9? Yeah, 9 and 4, yeah. Ezekiel 9 and 4, right? Talks about the women, the children, the young maid, hey, everything. So woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck, right? Even to a baby. So from a toddler to a little baby. Judgment's coming to the woman, to the child, the little toddler, and to the baby that's getting sucked off the mother's, teat, right? In those days, for these shall be great distress in the land, right? And at that time it was 70 AD, but it's, hey, everything is full circle. So all those things are going to happen once again here in this land. Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, also spiritually known as Egypt, right? We're going to have the cruel Lord, which is Donald J. Nero Trump, right? The reincarnation is all back, bringing distress in the land and wrath upon this people, right? You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you Israelites, upon this people, you Israelites, right? And it says, and they shall fall by the sword. They shall fall by the edge of the sword, Slakia, and shall be led into captivity. A lot of you will be getting taken to these concentration camps, these, these re-educational camps, and then some people led to be taken to be beheaded, right? These different camps. You're going to be led away captive, and then to put the micro C hip in you, which makes you a slave. You are a bona fide slave when the micro C hip is in you, right? Into captivity, into all nations, right? So that's what they're talking about. A novos ordo seclorum, a universal basic income, a universal citizenship, right? So all nations are going to be a part of this, right? And Jerusalem, right? You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians shall be trodden down until the Gentiles, right? The actual Gentiles, the natural Gentiles. Yep, and that's where you're at now. We're under the foot of the Gentiles. Trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And we're at the time of that fulfillment, man. The time of World War III, micro C hips, drones, a wild beast, famine, death, pestilence. Did I mention the micro C hip? I mean, you can't get enough of that because that's the hour of temptation, man. starvation, right? Because he's gonna be that cruel Lord, going back to being that one in Deuteronomy 28, right? Showing you the curses are still in effect. You're gonna have to come to him in nakedness and hunger and in thirst for the one of all things, right? So with all that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. I'd like to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, Yuachwathim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, on the Bible Ball, and Kwame Sharala.